Alright everyone, welcome to yet another Friday Night Magic tournament from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name is Zachary Evans. I am here by myself this evening, and we have got what will no doubt be an action-packed evening full of imaginary wizard fights for you tonight. There are 40 people in this room. This is as many people as I have remember at an FNM at this store in the entire lifespan of me coming to it. So it is good to see this many people, a lot of people in from out of town, a lot of college kids back in the area. So we've been averaging low 30s to begin with, which is really good for us, but now all the way up to 40. That means, of course, 6 rounds of coverage tonight, followed by a top 8. So you will get your money's worth this evening, that's for sure. Like I said, I am by myself, at least right now. I should be joined by Jordan Peckjo later in the evening. But, so you will have to forgive me slightly, as I have to do all of the all the behind-the-scenes stuff while I'm talking as well. So, on the left, for round 1 feature match, we have Yen-shyang. He has played on here before. He also played in the Star City Invitational Qualifier. He is playing his homebrew Jun control list. It's a lot of interesting goings on in it. It's basically uses underworld connections to get ahead on cards and then finishes them off with Thragtusk's, Olivia's, or a big Rakdos return. So very interesting deck there. Should be fun to watch. He is playing against Alec Myers. Alec has played on the camera before, and he has exclusively piloted zombies before. Tonight he is playing a new brew, which is basically a junk tokens list. He has some planeswalkers in there as well, but it's using token generators and intangible virtues. So that is what we've got for you in round 1. I'm going to lean right out and tell them they can start, and I'll be right back. And there we go. So, first and most importantly, rock, paper, scissors to determine who goes first. Rock takes it down if you'd like to win your own playset of those cards. Stay tuned. At the end of round 2, we will give away yet another set as we do every week. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Feel free to spread the word on Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot. I'm also going to post here briefly after I'm done the link to our Reddit. I shared a link on Reddit. I'm going to share that in the chat. If you could go in there and maybe upvote that and help spread the word that way, I'd appreciate that as well. So, Dueling Overgrown Tombs, and a turn 2 Farseek from Yen. And like I said, I am now going to share in the chat the Reddit link, so if you guys could help me out with that, I would very much appreciate it. So Yen goes and fetches a Blood Crypt, fixing his mana and accelerating. Farseek seeing a lot of play in a lot of different decks. Rampant Growth is good enough, but fixing your mana is even better, so not surprising there. And it looks like Alec missed his second land drop, considering he's playing... oh, he's just discarding, so this is not good by any means. Like I said, he is not playing zombies like he usually does. He is playing a tokens deck, so... Well, both of them are kind of stuck on it, so Yen's deck is not really going to punish Alec for missing land drops, but Yen also digging for business. Alright, so I'm glad you tuned in to watch two gentlemen rip cards off the top of the deck and then place them 2 inches to the right in their discard pile. Temple Garden from Alec lets him cast the Farseek he's been holding in his hand. That should help him dig out slightly, and again, Yen Yen missing some land drops of his own, so not punishing Alec for the stumble. These are the perils of the loose keep. So turn, I don't know what turn it is, but we see a Liliana of the Dark Realms come down for Yen. This he runs multiple copies of this card, and like I said, he's playing Jun. If you haven't seen his deck before, even though he has played on camera multiple times before, um, he's he's not he's not ramping necessarily to high-end creature-wise like the Jun mid-range deck or mid-range decks do. He is more controls. He usually finishes off the game with Rakdos Return from Liliana Emblem. So ups Liliana, gets his swamp, and we see a Gather the Townsfolk out of Alec. So we see a Vraska in Yen's hand, which I'm sure he can play now since he fetched the swamp last turn. So Vraska does in fact come down, goes straight up to 6. That's one of the powers of Vraska. Vraska starts on 5 loyalty. Her +1 is basically a no mercy if you're familiar with that old card. So it makes it very difficult to deal with. Tough to kill, and even if you do manage to take her out, you end up wiping your board. So Intangible Virtue comes down for Alec, one of his most important cards. And Blood Artist will also help him race these 2 Planeswalkers, but yeah, and he's going straight to, he's just going to race, basically. He's decided that dealing with the Planeswalkers is not a fight that he's going to win. As I remember to adjust the autofocus on our camera. So, again, I do apologize. I am here by myself. I have put the word out to all of our usual commentators as we see a bonfire come down. Should drop in down to 10, but it does wipe the board. I'm sure that isn't a trade that Yen is more than willing to accept. So after the dust settles, Yen at 11, Alec at 19, active Vraska, active Liliana of the Dark Realms. So once again, while there is a brief lull in the action, and while I'm trying desperately to kill time, I want to thank everyone who has visited our Facebook page. We will give you information on how to visit that a little bit later on, but we have had a lot of traffic on there, and I definitely appreciate everyone. We have got a lot of feedback, obviously, on our giveaway, which we'll be drawing for in the 3rd round, but also some good discussions and various other goings-on. So if you haven't checked out our Facebook page, definitely do that later. If you just go to ZachSellsMagic.com, it will redirect you, but we'll get into all that business later. So despite being short on lands early in the game, Yen not struggling anymore now that Liliana is online. Liliana, a card that's not seeing a ton of play, but Yen gets a lot of work out of it in this deck. Also, Yen is a all lands in one pile on the side, as I'm sure you see, and as many people have grief over. Dreadbore takes out one of the Blood Artists. Pretty good situation to be in when you can expend Blood Artist or expend Dreadbores on Blood Artists. But a little bit of a rough draw for Alec, so not to be expected. Thragtusk did come down last turn. See an Arbor Elf out of Alec. He's going to flash back the back half of the Lingering Souls. And with Intangible Virtue out, he does have a formidable force. Lingering Souls and Intangible Virtue, 8 power from 1 card with evasion. Not too shabby. The question is, at this point, is it enough? So I want to bring up, I'm going to try to bring up at least, the Liliana. I'm not sure what her ultimate is in terms of how many counters you need to remove. Let's see if we can bring that up. So -6. So she is already to past the range where she can ultimate and still stick around. So another Dreadbore swaps for the last Blood Artist, and then immediately takes out the rest of the team. Yen's down to 13, but in a pretty good position. And we might see the first ever live stream Assassin Token victory. And I will be very excited for it. I'm not going to lie. And more importantly, Yen has 3 Assassin tokens. Very difficult to find. They are this block's Wormcoil token. Highly sought after. Oh, he's not even going to let him do it. I will give Alec no unrelenting grief next round, as I wanted to see Assassin token for the win. That's good enough, so a bit of a stumble on mana from Alec, and the tokens deck allows Yen to establish himself and take the game with Planeswalker. So he moves up to 1-0. They move to their sideboards. I might have Yen's sideboard here. I will look and see. He did participate in our Star City Games Invitational Qualifier last month, so archives of that are available on our YouTube channel. And while I'm talking about it, if you're enjoying the stream, or you've watched in the past, or if this is the first time you are joining us, you can follow all of our action on our various forms of social media. Everything we have ever recorded is archived on YouTube, youtube.com/ZachSalesMagic. Cube drafts, regular drafts, standard FNM, West Virginia State tournaments, and the previously mentioned Star City Games Invitational Qualifier from Charcon Gaming Convention. That's on YouTube. You can also follow me at ZachSalesMagic on Twitter. You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSalesMagic, or just go to ZachSalesMagic.com. It should redirect you there. And obviously, if you're watching on Twitch right now, you know where the stream is. But if you're watching on YouTube, twitch.tv/ZachSalesMagic. That's where you can watch us live every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, in the US of A. Also, if you are watching on Twitch, I would appreciate, and it would benefit you as well, right above the video window on the left, there's a little button that said follow. Click on that. That will subscribe you to our channel, and they will send you email notifications every time our stream goes live. So if we decide to start filming our Wednesday night legacy events, or Thursday night casual drafts, or we get a wild hair and do something on a weekend, you'll get email notifications. So if you're bored and looking for something to do, you'll know when we're online. So that's a good way of keeping in touch. I use that for streams that I watch, so I am not, it's not shameless self-promotion. It's actual service that I can recommend. So, going to move on now to talking about the sideboard. I do have Yen's deck list. I'm not sure if this is the same configuration as he had back when he played in the Star City IQ, but I will tell you what he had then. In his sideboard at that point, 3 Deathrite Shaman, Vampire Nighthawk, 3 Golgari Charm, 2 Rakdos Charm, Tribute to Hunger, 2 Liliana of the Veil, Nicole Bolas Planeswalker, and 2 Slaughter Games. So it seems like in this case he's going to want the Nighthawk, he's going to want the Golgari Charms, I believe. That might be it. I guess you could use the third mode on a Rakdos Charm, but that seems very narrow and pretty greedy. But probably will be bringing in the Nighthawk, some number of charms, and then you might bring in the Deathrite Shaman, as they do interact well, against Lingering Souls, and the life game is not inconsequential as well. So that's probably what he's bringing in, taking out some of the slower cards in his deck. Looks like he might he'd probably take out Dreadbores for the charms. Let's see what else he's got in there. I don't know, everything in Yen's deck looks pretty good. He's got Abrupt Decay. He has a Tribute to Hunger that'll probably come out. An Increasing Ambition, he might take that out. But he's got Olivia's main, Thragtusk's main. He might take a Vraska out. Not too shabby. So that's what Yen is likely doing. I could make up some cards that I think that Alec is bringing in, but to be fair, I have no idea what's in his board or what he would even bring in. As we see the first appearance of the Pouring, which has shown up numerous times before. So Not entirely uncommon there. It looks like the stream died for just a second. Um, Not sure what's going on there. It seems to die every week right around this time. So I apologize for that. But while we are sorting out the technology, which confuses me, I don't know why every single week, right around this time, or maybe slightly later, it decides to crap out. But so I apologize that you have to watch yet another Call of Duty advertisement. That is the perils of wireless internet technology. So, turn 2 gather into turn 3, Lingering Souls, in a pretty good spot. Much different game than last time for Alec. Untapped Blood Crypt sends Yen to 16. It looks like a knight. Nope. Key rune coming down. That's a... Trying to figure out what that is. Oh, Yen is also playing Chromatic Lantern, I forgot. He might have taken the... I think he may have taken the lanterns out for a couple of key runes. I'm not sure which one that is. I think that's a Rakdos key rune, which is usually the best key rune in terms of being able to win the game late. But there might not be a late game as a intangible virtue comes down. Having Yen's life total, a timely mutilate, does pretty well. Yen still drops to 3 off of Blood Artist triggers. A very interesting interaction there from the tokens deck, but still in a world of hurt. So Alec has 2 cards, two cards in hand, flipping them furiously. One is I believe, a tapped 5. Oh, it's a Garrick. He put the land into play untapped. So Garrick Relentless comes down, makes a wolf token. Now that wolf token will not be able to profitably attack through the key rune there, which is a 3/1 first strike when it activates. I am getting confirmation in the chat that it is in fact Rakdos key rune, which is what I thought it was, but all the key rune art is deceptively similar and somewhat difficult to identify, especially for noobs like myself. So, Yen, a bit of a thinker here. 5 mana open. Well, he's not under the most severe amount of pressure. He is, I didn't realize it turned into a devil. Yep, so attacks with the wolf to get the key rune to activate, so trades his wolf and then uses Garrick to shoot the key rune. Soren comes down, makes a vampire token. Just trying to find some way of pushing the last bit of damage home. And here we see Olivia. Olivia can't block the token all day. And machine gun. Yep, has to trade with the token because of the emblem. Alex activating Soren, getting the emblem, and with the virtue makes his vampire token lethal. So, not necessarily the trade that Yen would like to have seen happen. Yeah. Innistrad advertisement card upside down, of course, the universal FNM symbol for Soren emblem. I believe that's in the new IPG, so check that out. Yen thinking it over again. Wolf Run comes down. Good in the late game, not necessarily good right now. So there is a Liliana. Going to up Liliana. Alex showing him the Midnight Hunting end of turn. It's going to be 6 power of dudes. Should be good enough. Not wanting to slow roll it. So, much different game 2 Then in game one, it's amazing what more than one land will do for an aggro deck. So we've already gone over how you can get in touch with us. We give away stuff every week on Twitter and Facebook. Every day I post something to our Facebook page. Lots of discussion, lots of fun things there. Lots of self-deprecating pictures of myself. So definitely check that out, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Make sure when you go there that you like things, you share posts that you like, you comment on things. Yes, it's a shameless self-promotion because we do want to spread the word about our stream, but it's also fun. I am nothing if not diligent when it comes to responding to feedback. So if there's things you like about the stream, things that you don't like about the stream, if you're watching on YouTube, there's things you like about the videos, things you don't like about the videos. If you comment or message me, I guarantee you I will respond. So we move into Game 3, Yen on the play. Alec Myers with his Junk Tokens deck, fighting back, evening this matchup. We have mentioned how you can get in touch with us, but we do need to take a second here and thank Lost Legion Games and Comics here in South Charleston, West Virginia. They let us hijack their FNM every week and broadcast it to you. If you can't make your FNM, feel free to watch ours. That's what we always say. We are the world's #1 rated Magic FNM broadcast originating from a broom closet in West Virginia. Lost Legion Games and Comics with 4 locations: Charleston, Beckley, Princeton, and Parkersburg, all in the greater West Virginia area. Regional to places like Pittsburgh, Columbus, Roanoke, Blacksburg, Lexington, Cincinnati. As we are joined by Max Turner now. Max and Megan. There's another chair there.
Again.
So, Max Turner and Megan Berger. More importantly, the game has started. So let me fill you guys in for anyone just joining us, and for you, two competitors.
Mm-hmm.
So Yen is playing his Gen Control list because it's a day of the week. And that's the deck that Yen this is his own build, and he's been rocking it hard for a long time, and I like it a lot. It has, he's been playing this forever.
It's wrecked me.
He has little tweaks to it, he said this week, as we've probably seen Nighthawk come down. He is squaring off against Alec Myers, who is playing a Junk Tokens deck. Game 1 was non-competitive because Alec discarded 3 or 4 times before he found his second land, and Yen beat him with Assassin Tokens.
Really?
Yes.
That's a first for the stream, isn't
Yes, it may be a first for the world. I can't get confirmation on that. Game 2, Alec went with turn 2, Gather, turn 3, Lingering Souls, turn 4, Intangible Virtue, turn 8, Wreck.
Yeah, point out that their life totals are grossly incorrect.
Well, that is because I haven't been paying attention.
Well, somebody on the stream decided you need to pay attention.
Well, I cannot argue with that. They are exactly right. So we see is that a Call of the Conclave token?
Criticizing though? Do you remember when it looked like he had 10 life and nobody could understand why he picked up?
Yes, and Megan referencing a previous week in which we were very confused by the game state in which Max scooped, but that was because Max had been failing to update our life counter.
Yeah, he was at 1.
I was dead.
0 was there incorrectly.
So is that that's a Call of the Conclave token, right? Watchwolf, sorcery speed Watchwolf. I guess every Watchwolf is sorcery speed, but so that's what came down. Yeah, he is playing these, as we see, another Gather and another Blood Artist. Normally I would say this is like a little bit of overextension here, but with the Blood Artist, he can still get in for millions of damage.
Yeah, a Mutilate, it's still going to set him way back,
and that's how he won Game 2, is that Yen mutilated his board away, but with the Blood Artist out.
Is he playing any of the guys that get bigger for your creatures, like Crusader or Wayfaring Temple?
No, he is not. Well, I don't know his exact list, so I can't say if he is or he isn't, but I have not seen them so far in this game. So attack with the Nighthawk, doesn't that mean he's going to clear the board then?
Probably. He also has, Mizium Mortars?
He has, I went over his deck during the break. He has, I think, 8 sweepers. No, that was a bonfire.
Okay.
A normal-assed bonfire, I believe, is the technical term for it.
It's still fantastic.
Bonfire for 2.
I can't really see the cards right now, so I'm just amused by the fact that one's wearing a suit and the other's wearing a Hooters t-shirt.
Well, Yen This is interesting. Megan, would you care to guess what Yen does for a living?
Is he an undertaker?
No.
Close.
Another person who often wears a suit. Yen is a lawyer.
Really?
hmm
I had no idea.
You learn something new every week.
And
A
do you know what our
rules
Hooters
lawyer.
friend does? Goes to school.
So I hope he's a waitress.
I
And-
hope he wears the cute socks.
End of turn, Midnight Haunting from Alec. Oh, another blood artist.
It hurts.
Another
Blood artist brings the pain.
another gather here.
Can you start eating that centaur token with his first striking key rune?
Yeah, he's going to this time, I'm sure of it. He can, in fact. So only the tokens in the air are attacking. Drops Yen down to 5. He needs a targeted removal spell. He needs a Mizium Mortars on the Blood Artist, followed by a Sweeper is what he needs. He cannot answer with a...
Pillar, mutilate.
He doesn't play Pillar. Mutilate is no good. He needs some way of dealing exactly with... Liliana, I think, would do it, wouldn't it?
Just make some sack, doesn't she? Oh, is he playing
Liliana's
the Dark Realm?
minus, I believe, is minus X for how many swamps you have,
Is he
right?
playing the Dark Realm one?
Yes.
Okay.
He has both, I think, in there.
And killing himself. Yeah, but I think that, unfortunately, it's a very interesting build from Alec because if he's not playing Blood Artists, those games go drastically different.
Oh, yeah.
But because he is playing Blood Artists, then all of Yen's sweepers, which are normally super good in this matchup, not nearly
Not
as
so
good as they could have been. I mentioned it, well, obviously congratulations to Alec there. We do have 25 minutes left. I might sneak out and see if we can find another match. It wasn't necessarily quick, but did I hear JB say that we're playing 55-minute rounds tonight?
No. He said there were 6 rounds, but we're playing 45 minutes.
45 minutes. Okay, good. So we have
6 rounds.
Well, it's a good problem to have in the sense that I would much rather there be 40 people in here than 4.
I actually have a comment on the game, and you guys start talking about something else. This makes me sad.
What did you
I was going
comment?
to say, if Yen has any targeted kind of removal, he really needs to deal with the Blood Artist before he board wipes.
Right.
Like,
But
that's
the
a must.
problem is, and I do have, I think I closed it, but I did have Yen's deck list. The only targeted removal spell he has, other than the 2 Lilianas, are 1 copy of Mizium Mortars, which he can cast non-overloaded. Briefly, though, I do want to finish giving our plug to Lost Legion. Like I said, 4 stores in West Virginia, regionally located to places where people actually live.
Nobody lives in Beckley.
I'm talking about places like Columbus, Pittsburgh,
Oh,
Blacksburg,
Okay.
within a 2 to 3 hour drive of major metropolitan areas.
Princeton and Roanoke are like, what, an hour apart or something?
Yeah,
And a half?
yeah, they are close. So if you are in that area, or you're just coming through this way on your way to the beach in the summer, or if you're visiting family, if you're driving 64, 77, or
If you're
79.
going to Grand Prix Pittsburgh next year, you can stop and have FNM in Charleston.
Absolutely. If you're going, you know what you should have done on your way down to Grand Prix Charleston?
Stop in this Charleston.
To stop in this, or stop on your way back.
I asked Drew Bresler on Facebook if he was coming here, if he saw that or not.
I didn't see that. Did he respond?
Yeah, he said no, he was going to Chicago and then like Seattle, and I was like,
Yeah, the Star City event is in Seattle this week. But again, we want to thank Lost Legion. They let us set up our gear and do this every week.
and drag customers in the door.
Well, I don't think they complain. I will say this. Before we started doing the stream, high teens, low 20s. The last 4, I know exactly because I get the sheet every week. These are the last 4 FNMs we've had. 31, 34, 32, 40. Magic is healthy and thriving here in the greater Charleston area. I'm going to step out and see if I can find a game 3 real quick. We will be back. Do y'all want to talk about something on the stream while I go look?
You talk about your holiday box, Ron?
Megan, yeah, tell them all about let me do that. Let me switch to the camera. I'm not going to change the titles, but
Excellent. You wanna help me with this?
Have you opened it yet?
I have opened it. Hang on. So here's super specialness.
Ooh, these are really
So
nice, actually.
the holiday boxes from the
Wizard puts it out.
the Wizard puts it out. It's $20, $19.95, and it's a big box like this. Yeah. $20. and I believe it holds
It says
about
2,000, I think.
2,000 cards. Yeah.
You get these sweet dividers, which unlike other fat pack dividers
them
that are like really thin, listen to
Yeah,
this.
these are like
These
nice, thick plastic dividers. And how many are there?
You get six. You get one for each color.
Six, one for each
and then
color.
an
And it's got,
artifact one.
yeah, so they're pretty fantastic. Nice, thick plastic.
They're not going to break.
No. It comes with 4 booster packs, so that's pretty nice, plus a pack of land, which also includes the foil
Dreg Mangler?
Dreg Mangler. Yeah, it's got alternate art. It's in my deck. I put it right in my deck because I'm playing those. But it's pretty fantastic. Plus you get these little stickers so that you can differentiate what's where in your box. And
Did your best Vanna White?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, well, he's Vanna. Yeah, he did the arms. Check him out. Have you opened one of these?
Well, I did.
It's
They're
pretty
really
fantastic.
We mentioned this on
Facebook,
a couple months. I think like last month I mentioned it because they spoiled it. I don't know. I mean, like for $20, like the box is pretty cool. You get 4 packs.
4 packs almost pays
Return
for
to
the
Ravnica
box.
is, I don't know, it's one of the best. If you're gonna get 4 packs of something and hope that you get $20 worth of cards, I'd rather it be Return to Ravnica than
And
anything
the
else.
Dreg Mangler's probably worth like $5 on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
and you
foil
can just run
alternate
like
art.
Megan and open Sweet Hollowed Fountain.
Yeah, I did get a hallowed fountain in mine, so, you know.
I would like to give everyone on the stream an update that there's no way we're getting a 3rd game because a lot of people are done already. That game went relatively long. Yeah, I'll fix all the. But I do like these. Are these all the John? These are all the John Avon lands. Aren't
Yeah,
they?
you can like hold them up. We only held up one, but they're pretty fantastic. Looking.
You can also
They're
get
nice
these.
and
You can and you can also see my webcam.
Is that the lithographs they're selling?
Yeah, the John. These are all the arts for the basic lands that John Avon did, and they are all available. I think for purchase. On Star City, the lithographs. So I think you can get all of them for like something like $70 or something.
70 or 80.
Yeah, something like that. But that seems pretty good. So did y'all explain your what you had going on out there? Yeah.
No, my deck is the same one I played against him before.
Mhm.
Max is playing an elf ramp deck.
Mhm. Of course, Max is playing elves.
Well, yeah.
Got destroyed game 3.
Game 1 was over pretty quickly. I couldn't get stuff out too fast. Max swung at me for 31 with trample, and I just went,
Turn 5 or 6.
yeah.
But she
I
got
can keep
you
up.
2-1.
I did get him 2-1, yeah.
Megan, of course, playing Golgari Good Stuff deck that has
Very good stuff.
been on. If you go back to I think the last 2 weeks on our Facebook page, I have listed your deck list
Watch
because you
2
have been.
weeks ago, though, if you're going to watch on YouTube. You don't
Yes,
wanna see
2
last
weeks
week.
ago, very good results. Last week,
Painful.
not so much. So anyway, I did mention it briefly. We do not have another match for you. The match right next to him, I thought, might have been going to Game 3, but it ended in Game 2, and then everyone else is embroiled in what looks like a long Game 3. And there are a lot of people standing around out there. A lot of
So we got
quick decks.
18 and a half minutes to kill.
Max and I could have pretended to play Game 3 if you
Oh,
told us.
it's all right. I'm not real concerned about it.
Play Legacy?
No, I just want to wait it out. Let's talk about briefly.
Not my favorite.
Let's talk. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we do. As long as we don't have an actual FNM game out there, everyone will quit watching. It's just the way it is, and I'm not going to. I appreciate the fact that people watch, but if people get bored in between rounds and don't
Is
want
that
to
the
watch,
drawing this week?
yeah, there are for the Twitter giveaway, which we'll do at the end of round 2, which you can win a playset of rock paper scissors cards like we use to start all of our feature matches here. There are 22 runners in that. There's 21 runners, but I included someone twice because they signed up for last week's giveaway, but there's only like 1 or 2 people in the giveaway. So the other 2 people are local, so I decided to give the actual people from the internet a little bit of a boost. But there's 22 people in that giveaway. The Facebook giveaway where we're giving away our last foil promo Restoration Angel.
The last one?
I had a play set. JB donated them. JB, our shop manager here at the store, donated those from the prize support box.
Resident Godfather.
He is the man with the plan. You saw last week he wasn't here and the wheels fell off this thing.
It was terrible.
This week he's back. 40 people. They probably, a lot of people came because they knew he was back. So they just wanted to see him. They just wanted to catch a glimpse. How many people? If I told you, Megan Berger, how many people signed up for our Facebook giveaway? Excuse me.
It's over 40.
It is over 40. 51.
A lot of people.
51 people
nice.
competing for this Restoration Angel.
You
want to win
taking my Restoration Angel.
You want to win your own giveaway, you can stay tuned, like I said, find out more information about that. But the easiest way is to go to our Facebook page or follow me on Twitter. We'll give you all kinds of information on that. What I will not do is spam, but...
In fact, I've never signed up.
For Twitter?
No, for a giveaway.
Really?
Well, you're constantly liking and sharing all of my posts.
Except for those.
Well,
I know how
you gotta...
viewers.
You gotta
buy
go.
One of the Christmas boxes.
You gotta go up to bat. If you,
I'm waiting until you get one of those Kaijudo boxes over there.
Someone is asking if you're playing an elf deck in stand. Obviously, now that we're killing time here, we do have some discussion points later, but treat every time that you watch a stream and you see my bearded face sitting in front of this camera talking about nonsense, treat that chat window as a Reddit ask me anything. Ask me anything? You can also treat it as an ask me anything.
It's in West Virginia. It's cool.
But yeah, we will obviously interact there. Someone asking if Max is playing an elf deck in standard. Of course Max is playing an elf deck in standard. Max plays an elf deck in every format at some point.
Yep. I have it for Modern, and you'll have it for Legacy eventually.
Yeah.
Have you already talked about the Modern thing?
No, that was what I was going to talk about. So let's talk about the big new. No, you didn't ruin it. It's a good. It's a good segue. I'm on board with that.
Excellent.
So Megan, obviously talking about big announcement. I believe it was yesterday. From the Wizards Play Network newsletter to the tournament organizers, that after the first of the year, January 2013, Modern will be a sanctionable format for Friday Night Magic. So, of course, this is very interesting. And then the question, well, before I give my opinion or discuss what, we had a fairly, I don't want to say heated, but fairly interesting discussion on Facebook about this.
Because Modern Masters packs are coming out too, so you can be like, I want to play FNM and Modern, but I don't have the cards. Here, buy these sweet packs. They have Modern staples in them.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some of that in it as well. I think the main reason is because they've designed Modern to be an eternal format that isn't Legacy. They see the popularity of Legacy, but they also see the price restriction of Legacy with card availability. I mean, dual lands are almost over 20 years old.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's just difficult.
There's a common complaint that, I can't afford to play standard because my cards go out as soon as I buy them, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And now that you've got Modern to play on Friday nights, there you go.
Extended was never alive to be dead.
Yeah. Remember, they can always see what's on there. But people from YouTube don't know what's in the chat. That's what we have to always say. Max commenting about the fact that Modern is replacing Extended because Extended is dead. But as Max said, Extended was never Extended was only a Pro Tour. It was a PTQ format is what it was, and that's what Modern is turning into, is a PTQ format, and they're desperately trying to not mimic.
They've had quite a few Grand Prix though.
I know, but still, people they play Modern for the 2 weeks leading up to the Grand Prix, or the month leading up to the Pro Tour, or for the month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks that the PTQ season is for, but it's not something that is like super popular. I mean, it's popular, but it's not like it's
I've never played Modern.
Yeah, well, that's because it's not. Here's the secret. Modern is just as expensive as Legacy, depending on which deck you want to play.
It's like old Standard.
Yes, it is difficult, but you do bring up a good point. It's an eternal format, so your cards don't rotate. You can play pretty much anything. There were 7 different decks in the top 8 of the Grand Prix in Chicago last week, which wasn't Modern, and the only 2 decks that were the same were both squared off in the finals. Jund deck with Lingering Souls. So it is. I mean, there's a lot of good things about it. What I think is cool about it, people are talking about, well, we can, at least locally, the big discussion is, well, we can have it for FNM now. But like I said, we could have had block and extended for FNM in the past, but no one really taken that, because the fact of the matter is, your average player wants to play standard because that's what they're familiar with. Those are the cards they can get. That's what's played every weekend on Star City and whatnot.
Well, Friday Night Magic is the go-to for newer players. So.
But what I think is good about it, I can tell you right now, we're never going to have a Modern tournament replacing Standard for FNM. But what I think is cool about it is that now that they're pushing it so hard from a manufacturer level and from an organized play level, that means we should be able to at least get people should be at least familiar with the format, interested in it, so that we can have like a Monday or Tuesday night tournament or something like that.
I'm surprised we've never had a block FNM, at least an attempt at it, especially with Ravnica now.
I mean, but the other thing you have to take into account is that like someone in your position who's been playing for a long time, you're interested in that new format, But I mean, this is one thing a lot of people don't factor in is like when people walk in the door expecting to play Standard and find out it's another format, they immediately alienated. You know what I mean? Like they had their heart set on coming and playing Standard, and when they find out it's Draft and they have to pay $15, or they find out that it's Block or Modern or something else, and they don't have a deck for that. I mean, that can really steer business away. Well, and another thing too is like you have to understand that like Standard drives the business at most card stores. Most card stores don't make a considerable amount of money off of singles. They make the most of their money off sealed product, and people buy sealed packs of new cards, which are Standard and stuff like that. But like I said, I'm all for playing Modern. I'd love, there's some talk about wanting to have a local Modern event. I would be more than happy to do that. This week here at the store, I know almost nobody everyone who's watching that can drive to this store is already, like, they already play here normally, and everybody who might be interested in coming lives too far away to make it realize. But we had a Wednesday night Legacy tournament, had 16 people for that, great turnout. Last night, Casual Draft, had 10 people show up for Return of the Ravnica Draft. FNM tonight, Casual Cube Draft tomorrow all day. So 4 days of Magic. We have but we weren't having Legacy events as recently as 3 weeks ago. Was the first time we had those.
It's been a very productive Magic week for the shop.
Yeah, but that's what we want to do. It's like that's what I try to tell people. It's like I said, don't necessarily try to look at this as now we can replace Standard FNMs with Modern, because like I said, I don't think that's good for the store. But what it means is now that Modern is in everybody's mindset, now that people are familiar with the format and stuff like that.
Dip our toe in it.
Yeah, you can have a once-a-month Saturday event or like a Modern Mondays or something like that.
Maybe if the appeal spreads wide enough, it could become an
I guarantee. That's what I told. I was actually talking with Jordan on the Jordan Pecchio, who's been on the stream before. Should be here later. If he gets done with his homework, that's what happens when you're in school. You got to get those last-minute things done before the break. But I told him if you get 35, 40 people for your Modern event, I guarantee you JB will run the FNM for it. But it's just. I mean, you just got to look at it objectively. It's very tough for a shop manager to say, he's got 40 people tonight to play Standard. Yeah. Like, we all know that, like, Modern would be fun, but it would be, like, 8 of us. And it would be, like, me and you and the other guys who travel to, like, bigger events because they're the ones who have older cards or are willing to put in the time.
The best way to do it would be, like, a side-by-side where you're playing Standard for Friday night and you're playing Modern, but I mean that would just kill any time that you had to work around the shop.
Yeah, and what ends up happening, because you should do that with Drafts and Standard, and what ends up happening there is you end up having 2 like crappier events instead of one real good event, because they used to they'd pull like 8 people out of the Standard event to have a draft. You're going at the end of round 1. This is 6 rounds. You gotta go get your go-go juice. We talked about that last week. Last week, Megan was pounding Mountain Dew and energy drink before the tournament started.
Did you make it through that? Did you crash 4 rounds in?
What? I didn't crash. I was bitter. Brian beat me. He kept talking to everybody about how his deck was going to lose against mine, and then he beat me, and I was like kicking rocks, mad. Didn't want to hear it.
There's some discussion in the chat about how varied the format is in Modern. Basically, 2 camps forming, one saying that there's only 4 decks that are viable, and the other one saying that you can play anything. I think you can play anything.
Yeah.
I don't think it. I mean, yeah, Jund is very popular, but here's another thing people don't factor in. Cedric Phillips and Michael Jacob have a very significant, in my opinion, they had a very significant role in how many Jund decks were played at the Pro Tour and how many Jund decks were played at the Grand Prix. They're on the internet streaming them playtesting their Jund builds. I don't know, 12 hours a week, if not more.
Yeah, at least.
They have a lot of influence. You know what I mean? Because that's what either people look at their deck and think this is what I want to play, some version of that, or people look at that and think other people are going to be playing that because of that influence. Yeah, so that's what happens, is it affects the metagame like that. I don't think that is inconsequential. Like, there's 35% of decks at the Pro Tour playing Jund. And yet it was a Jund mirror in the finals, and then Luis Vargas finished 10th, I think, with Jund as well. So they had 3 copies of that deck in the top 10. But, like, that's also the best deck. There's always going to be the best deck for a tournament. Yeah. But there was, and see, if there's anything I forget, there was Affinity in the top 8. I'm talking of the Grand Prix. Affinity, was there an Infect deck? I'm not sure. But Infect is good.
Actually, the Infecting, that was
Splinter
the big
Twin
thing in the Magic announcement on Facebook. Everybody was like, have fun playing, playing Infect or losing to Infect or whatever, and here it's like completely different. Now they're like Jund. So
yeah, but I mean,
it's interesting how
it's not any different than any other format really, because there's always going to be a partial solving of the format, and you figure out. Well, it used to be Jund, and now it's Jund with Lingering Souls, and it used to be Gerald's Messengers, and now it's not. I mean, decks will rotate. Eventually, they figure out.
How to
I mean,
beat
why
it.
do you think? Why do you think that Sifka won the Pro Tour with Eggs? Because he realized, hey, this Jund deck is great, and people are playing it, but it doesn't interact with me.
Right, so
With it can't beat a Leyline of Sanctity, which I'm playing in the main deck, and it is tough to beat a Silence as well. So, but I think Modern is very viable. I mean, I think there's tons of things. Like I said, just going through the list again, there was Spirit Jund, there was Affinity, there was 5 minutes, he says, remaining in the round.
Woohoo!
So I had 6 minutes on mine, pretty close.
Very good, very good.
Not bad.
Splinter Twin, I think I've mentioned that multiple times now. There was a very cool Gifts deck. Did you see the Gifts deck?
I want to build that very, very much.
It's
my style.
Shane. Was it Shane something? I don't remember his name. If you look at the top 8 of Grand Prix Chicago, I'll make a note and I'll post that link on our.
I don't really have time to watch these things, so it's all just question marks.
Gibson
in my
Givens
head
with a
right now.
4-color control.
Yeah, it's 4-color. It has a Gifts shell, but the Gifts is really just for the Elish Norton Burial Rites combo. It's just like a control deck for a while, and it uses Lingering Souls and Deathrite Shaman.
It's a fantastic deck, though.
Yeah, it's very good.
Deathrite Shaman finally coming into its own in every format.
It's very good.
Bitter over here.
Yeah, Deathrite Shaman is great because it has 3 modes, doesn't die to a 1 damage spell, and you get inconsequential Graveyard Hate. You can main deck Graveyard Hate. Very good.
Well, you can main deck Graveyard Hate right now, but nobody's really doing it.
There's a comment in the chat from actually Ian Nolte, who was 2 weeks ago commentating with this, that the Gifts deck, the deck list for the Gifts deck we're talking about looked like someone's cube draft list.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was 15 separate cards in the sideboard.
It's just all power cards.
Yeah, it's just all good cards. So very interesting. And that deck had never been on. No one had ever seen something like that show up.
Since Champions block.
Yeah, but even then, it wasn't playing like that kind of thing where you're. I mean, it didn't really need the Gifts to survive. I saw him resolve Gifts once in all the coverage, and like I said, he did knock out Luis Scott Vargas in the final round. So that deck is very real. Yeah. So lots of stuff going on there, but it should be interesting to see what happens here.
Sean.
Someone asking if modern decks are cheaper than standard.
Depends.
It
It really does depend. I think the initial response is no Eternal decks are cheap. Eternal decks are always more expensive. It just depends on what deck you're building. If you're playing like 4-color Planeswalkers in standard, or you're playing like Zombies or Jund right around States, like those are like $800 decks, $900
I mean,
decks.
right now, a lot of standard, like Delver, all your dual lands overlap into Modern. That you have now, even in Ravnica packs. You got Delver, you still
And
got
this is something I talk about a lot because we do play Legacy here, and we have a lot of players getting into the format.
And
This week,
he's making budget Legacy deck lists for people to help.
yeah, so I posted a couple of things on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, earlier in the week, just some budget Legacy deck lists that people could get into on the cheap. But one of the things I always tell people is if you're really concerned about budget, you're willing to spend the money, but you've only got limited resources. Try to pick decks that's, like you say, Delver's played in 3 formats: Standard, Modern, and Legacy. Now, obviously, Legacy Delver is one of the most expensive decks because of the mana base. But I mean, still, Affinity is played in Legacy and Modern. Some of the Planeswalkers show up in both the Shocklands, like you say, Standard staples as well as Modern staples. So,
Well, I mean, even if you're not going budget, if you are taking your time building the deck, you can trade for a lot of stuff. I mean, even super expensive
oh,
stuff.
that's a very good point. As someone mentioned in the chat, old Scooch over there. I like it. I like his name. He's mentioning that Delver also played in Vintage. It's 4 formats because they played Delver in the Gush decks and some of the Gush decks in Vintage. So.
Oh, something just happened.
My screensaver.
kicked us off.
It did.
I apologize. I'm not sure if the microphone is still working.
He's all nervous.
I apologize. Someone is asking in the sorry about that. My screensaver came on. Also, we have like a million things going on my really crappy computer, which makes all of the graphics and everything flow really nice, but also makes my poor computer drag. So there might be a little bit of delay on the studio camera. Someone's asking if you're a new Magic player, what should your goals be?
Have fun.
Have fun is the main. Yeah, that's like the main thing. I don't know what your. if you're trying to be competitive, your goals are completely different than if you're just trying to have a good time playing Magic.
This is one of those games that where you can like express yourself while you play it. Like I'm playing this deck because I like doing this. And it's how I feel about things. And
Absolutely. Especially at a format like FNM, where it costs FNMs at Lost Legion $5 gets you into this event. Top heavy prize structure, but they do pay down to
10th or 11th.
I mean, they pay down pretty low. You get a pack. A lot of people get packs for going 3-2 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a fun environment. You're not going to come in here and nobody's going to. Actually, I was talking with JB earlier today where there was one guy who wanted to come and play, but he wanted to come to FNM just to watch some matches because he said he didn't want to lose and get made fun of. And I thought, well, there are some shops where the real aggro guys are going to talk down to people, and that's the way they self-validate themselves.
They've been
But
weeded out of the good shops.
So, yeah.
that is not
not
going to happen here.
Yeah.
So more importantly, the booming voice of JB Roberts has just announced that round 1 is finished.
When I first started playing, I think it was like the third time I played Magic, and it was at Friday night. The second person that I came up against was Adam Vickers, and I mean.
Oh, are you referring to the local legend Adam Vickers?
The local legend Adam Vickers.
If you don't know,
I want to throw my cards against a wall and walk out.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Who hasn't
sweet.
he done that to though?
We're talking about Adam Vickers, so of course that means this little gem. I don't use it that much anymore because I know better than to put it up because people will just immediately quit watching our stream.
Splash screen's up.
As cool as it is, like people want to see Magic. That's always the number one. We get a lot of positive feedback, and like I said, if you do contact us on Facebook or on Twitter or anything like that, I will. That's half the fun for me is talking to. In the last week, I've talked to a guy from. El Salvador, a guy from the UK, multiple.
We've got a guy from the UK right now, yeah.
I think the
Newcastle.
Best,
Yeah, I love the beer.
I believe Newcastle beer is, isn't that Australian?
No.
I'm not enough of an alcohol aficionado.
Certainly I am not.
That's
Just PBR till I
Foster's.
pass out.
Foster's is
But,
Australian for beer. That's the one.
Yeah. So,
That's how we do it around here.
That is it. The brown ale, yes. I think he was talking about Foster's.
No. There's a Newcastle, I don't know. I was just trying, I don't drink, so I don't know. I need to get clarification on
You
that.
guys are making me look like an alcoholic right now. It's hurting. It's hurting.
I'm the one that says just PBR till you pass out around here.
So, for those of you just joining, I can't appreciate this. We've had 60 people from the time that we stopped to right now. I mean, we were at 80 during the round, dropped to 60, but that 60 holding strong. So those are our dedicated fans. That actually happened last week. So we always lose some people, but we get the
I think the way to
the
keep
regulars,
them would be to give away one of those Christmas boxes.
well, I don't know how much you think I'm willing to invest into this thing, but also I don't know.
To donate to you if somebody wanted this per se help you provide a monetary value to buy better prizes.
Oh well, that's a good point. Max talking about how you could financially donate to the stream. Well, I have never asked for that. I would like to clarify that.
Right, yeah.
But there was a few weeks ago, a couple people asked about how they could do that. There's just one night where people were very concerned about whether or not I was getting paid to do this.
The point is, what would you do with the donations?
The money is just going to recoup the cost of the equipment I've already spent. So I'd have to make like over $200 before I'm net even on any of this. But of course, it's not for like a money-making venture. It's just for fun. But yeah. So if you do feel so compelled to do that, if you want to donate a couple bucks or something like that, we've had I think 4 donations so far: 2 tens, a $5, and $1. And that's all.
Nice.
But so here's how you can do that. At the bottom of the Twitch page, you're watching right now, and for those watching on YouTube, it's at the bottom of twitch.tv/ZachSalesMagic. There's a widget at the bottom for an app called Chip In. You click on there, and you can pay via PayPal. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can pay as a guest with your credit or debit card. Like I said, I am not by any means trying to force that upon you. We do not expect that from you. But if you feel so compelled, I mean, it's the same kind of thing where like sometimes you listen to podcasts. A lot of podcasts don't have like, they don't charge. They're free, so they have that kind of thing.
I chipped in on SoulForge.
Yeah, on their Kickstarter. Yeah. So that opportunity is there. Not like I said, not going to push it super hard.
Your soulmates here.
How can you? If you haven't watched the stream before, you'll realize that we're in half of a room and there's another door over there. So that's what people are. JB will be.
We haven't asked what round we're in.
Yeah, we just finished round 1. They are pairing up for round 2. I'm sure JB will bring us the standings here shortly. Or the pairings, rather, and then we'll go out there and find you another match. The good thing about having 40 people in your FNM is you get some pretty sweet matchups.
Yeah.
Another fan favorite, Zach Vilianco, who played the Door to Nothingness deck, Primal Surge deck a few weeks ago. He is here. Unfortunately, he's playing a real deck. He's playing
Door to Nothingness.
He is. We might get him under there.
He's playing the Flores list.
Yeah. So we'll see who we can get, but a lot of good players in here. Like I said, there's like 4 or 5 of the guys who go to WVU. They're back in town for the holiday. So anyway, yeah, that's another thing too. I'll mention it throughout the night. But we will be, for those in the area, Lost Legion will be open both Wednesday and Friday of next week, so the day before and the day after Thanksgiving. I will talk to JB during the break and find out if they have any specials. I'm sure they have Black Friday deals. And also, we were going to try to do, I haven't talked with JB about it, but I want to see if we can do any kind of like internet promotion for those. I already have some fun graphics made to make it look like we're in the. Thank you, Anthony.
Last year it was like $20 plane chase decks.
Yeah, and they've offered, at one point they offered boxes of Zendikar for like I think they were like buy one get one 25% off, or like I think at one point they sold boxes of Zendikar for like $85 or $90. So pretty good amounts of. So we do have pairings here. I'm going to take a brief minute here to try and figure out which of these fine folks. Max, do you see who you're playing?
Train ran on me by the burgers.
Yep, you just played Megan Berger. You're now playing her husband, Brian Berger, who last week came in second.
Yeah, so the train's getting ran on me.
We're a little bit blue, but we'll allow it. We've got, I'm trying to see if we've got some good matchups here. Surely we do. So, Casey and Brett might be good.
Is Brett playing tokens?
I assume Brett is playing tokens, or he might be playing zombies. I'm not sure. I will find out. Another thing, just a bit of business too. If you're interested in deck lists, contact me. As I have them available, I will put them on the YouTube, the video description portion of the YouTube video. I'll also post all the deck lists that I have available for me after the fact on our Facebook page. Every Sunday I do a recap post on Facebook. Everything we talked about, or questions or asked or whatever, I put on there to summarize.
You want me to send some people so I've got to get up and leave your stream?
No, I'll do that. I don't mind. I like to get up, like to stretch my legs a little bit. I'm an old ass man.
People here want to see you though.
Well, someone earlier did ask one person. Oh, it was actually Allie Browning who talked to me on Facebook earlier today. Yes, that's right. I do interact with people on Facebook. So I'm not kidding. If you get in touch with me, we will become hard, fast friends. But he was saying that wanted to check out some sweet beard action. So
I can't really grow one, but I'm working on it.
This is like 7 weeks of beard, I think.
I'm jealous.
I'm not sure. We can talk about my beard at a later point. They're going off to fight round 2. Oh yeah, definitely come and check us out. They will be back when they are available. Otherwise, it's me in this empty chair. I'm going to take a quick break. That is not an excuse for you to go away and stop watching. We will be back with round 2 of this 6-round FNM action a little bit later on. So definitely stay tuned. Someone asking real quick, is someone playing Omniscience this week? There he is. I'm now joined by the man, the myth, the legend. Not really any of that, but Jordan Peckjo. I was telling you earlier, you were watching on the stream while you were no doubt finishing some coursework.
Yes.
Is that your Twitter?
What? Yes.
Excellent. All right. So Jordan, congratulations on arriving just at the time we're going to take a break. We're going to go out there and find round 2 for you. So don't go away. We will be back very, very shortly.